Hi everybody, it's me, Dr. Kestler from Lorain County Community College with another COVID-io. Today is the 18th and I have a few things I want to talk about today. First of all, a little bit of an update, and there's some things going on that I think might scare you, but I want to take you and bring you under control. First of all, if you look at this, the figure I have up, you can notice that there appears to be we are starting to look like Italy more than anything on the total cases of COVID, and I would caution you against that conclusion. Let me tell you why I think it's wrong. What you're looking at there, that little blip at the tail end of 3/17, that was yesterday's date, that little tail blip there is a result of us doing more testing. If you look at on the right-hand side of the page, you'll notice that there is that blip that occurred back in February in China. So right there in China, there was that little adjustment. That was when better testing became available, and you saw that. Now I want to go over to the end of that curve, and I think I've already addressed it, but the one on the right-hand side, and you can notice that that curve shows you a steep curve at the end, and that is the result of the pandemic moving into the rest of the world and emerging directly into the rest of the world. And so that's what that's all about. I think in a couple of days you're going to see a little bit of a correction, and I hope to give an update on how we're doing here in the United States. I've got a team of students working on collecting data right now. I have my MicroProf Learning Network is hard at work, and we are trying to get data to suggest what the course of this disease might actually look like later. I know that's a very popular question as we go through, and as we progress, I'll give you daily updates. The main message I want to talk about today is this paper. And this paper is a paper that came in this week in New England Journal of Medicine, and it compares to, by the way, I have to give you a little bit of an update on the nomenclature here. It says SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 is COVID-19, just so that you know that that is now called COVID-19. And the SARS-CoV-1 is the original SARS virus that we talked about from 2003. That was the first one that kind of emerged from China. Okay, so the data from this story is as follows. You can see there's an awful lot of information here. What it's looking at is a comparison of, on the top is COVID-19, on the bottom is the original SARS virus, and what you're looking at is the survivability of these two viruses on various surfaces. A lot of people have been asking me, well, why is it so infectious? I think part of the problem why it is so infectious is that it is stable on surfaces. So one of the things that I'll point out what this data is, but I want to remind you of something, that a very important thing that you can do is this. Use a disinfecting wipe, and there's a lot of them out there. You should have them at home anyways, and it's a good idea to really get on a surface and clean it. This surface is, and I'm not going to tell you the brand because basically all the brands will do the job. But get a good brand of disinfectant wipe wherever you can find it, and wipe off a surface. This becomes especially important as we start having people who actually have disease in your household. If somebody in your household has disease, has illness, you kind of want to separate them a little bit from you and clean up around them, and clean up as much as you can. Again, make sure you don't touch your face. Wash your hands a lot, because that's the whole idea. If this survives on, I just want to show you some of the data here. The aerosol survival rate is about the same for both viruses. Copper is about the same. But the thing that is most disturbing is things like cardboard and stainless steel. Stainless steel and cardboard are big kinds of agents that we look at. Those have a long-term stability. So you want to be sure that you can wipe down a piece of cardboard just like you can wipe down the surface of a table, and you'll be okay. And then if you touch something, let's say you get a delivery in the house. Let's say you get groceries delivered into your house. You may want to wipe off the outer cover if you think you are nervous about that cover. You can also disinfect things in the sunlight. That is also something that is worthwhile. But this is why this virus is so infectious, is because it has such a survival. This is why we're staying inside. I tell you, we should know in fairly short order how well these social distancing protocols are working. That information is going to be coming soon. And I hope to tell you that they are working, and then when we can kind of emerge out of this situation. Last thing I want to mention today is I've been saying a lot about being a helper and go for the helpers. And I just want to point out one of the things that I have observed is some really goodness here. There's some really good things that have been going on around us, and this is one example. This is a story from a butcher in a deli, TJ's Butcher Block in Delhi. I've not been there, but I know everybody had a hard day. Everybody in the restaurant business had a hard day yesterday. It was usually one of the biggest days of the year, a moneymaker for a lot of businesses. And this guy, I guess, went into his bank and he said to them, you know, I'm going to get really killed by all this corned beef that I bought. And so this bank decided to pitch in and buy 900 corned beef sandwiches, and they distributed it to every senior citizen they could find in the surrounding senior centers. This is one of the things I'm telling you that I said something earlier, and this is a weird thing to say, but sometimes it takes a pandemic to heal a society. And I hope that is one of the great things that comes out of this awful moment, is that we move in that direction. I just want to remind you of one thing: be good to each other, and may you persist like a lentivirus.